Hey, what you doing there?
I'm just eating the greatest, most bestest pizza from Little Caesars, Cammy.
You know what that reminds me of? Julius Caesar. He was the greatest, most bestest consul of Rome.
Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
William Shakespeare was an English playwright, actor, and poet. He was born in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. His true birth date is not known for sure, but is believed to be born on April 23rd, 1564. Tradition back then was to get baptized 3 days after birth. So although his birth date is unknown for sure, it is recorded that he was baptized on April 26, 1564. Therefore, his birth date being April 23rd. It is almost certain that William Shakespeare attended the grammar school of King's New School in Stratford from ages 17 to 14. He was the son of John Shakespeare and Mary Arden. His father was an alderman and a successful glover. His family was large. He was the third child of 8 and the eldest surviving son. At the age of 18, William Shakespeare married a woman named Anne Hathaway. 6 months after marriage, they had their first child, who was a beautiful girl, and they named her Susanna. 2 years after Susanna, Anne gave birth to twins. They named the son Hamlet and their daughter Judith. Later on, he began a successful career in working as an actor, writer, and a part-time owner of a company called the Lord Chamberlain's Men. Shakespeare produced most of his work between 1589 and 1613. Early on, most of his plays were comedies, but as his writing grew, he transferred towards tragedies. Some of his best tragedies included Macbeth, King Lear, Othello, and Hamlet. Another popular tragedy written by William Shakespeare was believed to be written in 1599 about true events, the tragedy of Julius Caesar. This play was likely William Shakespeare's first play to be performed in the Globe Theatre. This play is still popular today as it's currently being put on in New York City with a fun twist of the assassination of a ruler who resembles Donald Trump. Although the play is named Julius Caesar is not the main character. The main character is Brutus, a selfless supporter of the Republic who believes strongly in the Roman Republic. Brutus is a powerful public figure who never makes decisions for himself, but for the future of Rome. He appears to be a master to his servants, a dignified military leader, and a loving friend. Brutus is well liked throughout the Roman Republic. Julius Caesar trusted Brutus and was very good friends with him. Although Brutus was Julius Caesar's best friend, he began to doubt Caesar's capability to lead Rome in a positive way. Another main character is Cassius. Cassius is a well-known general in Rome. Cassius and Caesar are longtime acquaintances, but Cassius begins to dislike the popularity and power that he has gained from the Romans. Cassius is jealous of Caesar and is the leader of the assassination of Julius Caesar. Our last main character is Antony. Antony is a loyal friend of Caesar, but when the assassination began, Antony had to be in favor of Brutus and the conspirators to save his own life. Later on, Antony had revoked his support for Brutus and declared him as a traitor. Julius Caesar begins with a giant parade of Roman people celebrating Caesar's win over the Pompei battle. Everyone was ecstatic as they were cheering about this win. Some of Caesar's men did not feel the excitement as much because they did not think they should stop their job to celebrate a fallen leader. However, Caesar did not care and continued to celebrate anyway. During the celebration, Brutus and Cassius discussed the popularity of Julius Caesar in the Romans. Brutus fears that Caesar will grow to be a ruthless leader of Rome. Cassius manipulated Brutus by telling him that he is not equal to Caesar. Cassius also tells Brutus that the Roman people want Caesar's reign to end. Julius sees the two conversing and tells another trusted advisor that he does not trust Cassius. Throughout the night, there are multiple sides of groups who are gossiping and causing conflict. Cassius sends Brutus forged letters saying that the people of Rome support the death of Julius Caesar. This causes Brutus to be on board for the assassination of Julius Caesar. Later, Brutus goes back and forth about the assassination, but ultimately decides that he is going to do it, with the best intentions for the people of Rome. As the conspirators are finalizing their plan, they decide to kill him at the Senate. They realize they need to get Julius to the Senate, and it would have been simple to get him there if not for Julius's wife, who told him that she had a bad feeling and that he should not leave their home. Julius stays at home until one of the conspirators come to his home and tell him that the Senate will not crown him if he does not meet with the Senate today. After this information was given to him, Julius leaves home, knowing his wife is in full disagreement, and goes to meet with the Senate. As Julius approaches the Senate, the men strike on him. They all stab him with a knife, and Brutus is the last of the men to stab Caesar.
In the assassination, Antony had to tell Brutus and the conspirators that he was in favor of the assassination, but secretly he told to himself that he would avenge Julius Caesar's death. Our scene, Act 3, Scene 2, is after the death of Julius Caesar. This scene takes place at the funeral of Julius Caesar. Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reasons shall be rendered for Caesar's death.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons.
Be patient to the last, Romans, countrymen, and lovers. Hear me for my cause, and be silent you may hear. Believe me for my honor, and respect to my honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses that you may be the judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to him was no less than his. If then this friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer to him. Not that I loved Caesar less, but I loved Rome more. As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was unfortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But he was ambitious, and I slew him. If any speak for him, I have offended. Who is here so rude that he would not be a Roman? Who is here so vile that he does not love his country? If any speak for him, I have offended. I pause for reply.
None, Brutus! None.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in capital. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who though had no hand in his death shall receive the benefit of his dying, a piece of commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live! Live.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my stake stay here with Antony, save I alone till Antony have spoke.
Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not praise him. The evil that men do, live after them, and let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you, Caesar is ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Under the leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men, I come to speak at Caesar's funeral. He is my friend, faithful, and just to me. He hath brought many captives home to Rome. When the poor had cried, Caesar hath wept. Brutus says he was an ambitious man, and Brutus is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than to wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. After Antony spoke, the Romans started an uproar. They chased Brutus and Cassius out of Rome. While this was happening, Julius Caesar's son Octavius prepares to be the leader of Rome. Octavius and his closest men are preparing to go to war against Brutus and Cassius, who are camping out on the outside of Rome. The two sides go to war, but Cassius realizes that his side is not doing well. With this news, Cassius asks one of his trusted men to kill him. Following this, Brutus also believes that the war is not going to end in his favor. Brutus asks a trusted man of his to hold his sword while he walks into it because he could not do it himself. After Brutus's death, Octavius and Antony give a speech about Brutus and how he was a noble citizen of Rome. Octavius also says that Brutus will be buried in the noblest of places because of his love for Rome. Then the play ends with the Octavius and Antony celebrating their win. The scene we chose was important because it was the turning point of the assassination. After Brutus spoke, the people were in favor of the assassination, but after Antony spoke, the people were upset with the assassination. A big theme in this play is ambition and conflict. Julius Caesar has an ambitious personality, but this ambition is what causes Brutus to join the assassination against him. This play is not one of William Shakespeare's most popular plays because it does not compare to some of the others like Macbeth and Hamlet, but is one that has not been forgotten. As said before, there are Julius Caesar plays that have been modernized to this day. Kenadee and I enjoyed this play because there was more than just an assassination going on. There was a lot of conflict throughout the play that kept us both intrigued.